Hello my bunnies, welcome back. So today in honor of St. Patrick's Day, we are making some Lucky Charms marshmallows. So these are the size of the marshmallows that you see in the cereal. These are jumbo and they are delicious. So let's get started. So first, to make the marshmallow base, what you want to do is pour some cold water into the bowl of an electric mixer and sprinkle some powdered gelatin on top. Let that sit for 5 minutes. Then place some sugar and a quarter cup of cold water into a small pot and set it to medium-high heat. Stir until the sugar has melted, then attach a candy thermometer to the pot and boil the sugar until it reaches 238 degrees Fahrenheit. And I always get a lot of questions as to whether you need to have a candy thermometer. If you don't have one, I know it's such a pain to go out and get one just for one recipe, but if you don't use one, I can't specify boil it for this many minutes and it'll reach that temperature, because it totally depends on the strength of your stove. And if you boil it for too long, the sugar will get too stiff, and if you boil it for not long enough, the sugar won't be stiff enough to create the texture that you want, so it will just disappoint you and it will be awful. So I will link the one that I'm using, the thermometer that I'm using, down below. I put off buying one for so long as well, but and now that I have it, I use it all the time, so I promise it's worth it. Then add the hot sugar to the gelatin mixture and stir the mixture by holding the whisk and hand whisking just for a couple seconds to slightly cool. And then beat with an electric mixer on a medium-high speed for 8 to 10 minutes until soft peaks form. Then you want to add either some vanilla bean seeds or some vanilla extract. I'll have all the quantities and everything listed down below for you. Or if you don't want it to taste like vanilla, you can use any kind of flavoring that you like. And then now we are going to make the shapes. So this marshmallow mixture sets quite quickly, so you do need to move quickly. And because Lucky Charm marshmallows are 80 million colors, there isn't enough time. If we divided this marshmallow batch into all the colors put into piping bags, the marshmallow would set by the time you got around to using the last couple colors. So the best way to do it if you want to make all the marshmallows is to make 3 batches of marshmallows. Then I'm going to show you how to dye them with food coloring in a strategic order so that you get the most out of your marshmallows. So first we're going to leave the marshmallow mixture white, and we're going to pipe the little the tails of the shooting star marshmallows. And you'll see I'm popping the marshmallow mixture into a piping bag, and I just snipped off the end to create a medium-sized hole. So once you have done those, pop all the marshmallow mixture back into the bowl and dye it yellow. And then with the yellow, we're going to pipe the middle arch of the rainbow marshmallow. And the pot of the golden pot, the little pot of gold, we're going to create the bottom. And I'm piping the marshmallows onto a sheet of parchment paper. That works perfectly. You can also use a Silpat baking sheet, like the ones that you see a lot of people use for macarons. Then pop the marshmallow mixture back to your mixing bowl and dye it orange. So you can either add some red food coloring to the yellow food coloring, or just add some straight orange, depending on what kind of food coloring you have. I'll link the one that I use below. I've used it for oh my god, 3 or 4 years. It's my favorite kind of food coloring, so definitely check it out if you want to achieve the same colors that I have. And now we are going to make the middle tail of the shooting star, as well as the little star on the end of it. And I think these are my favorite. They're my least favorite of the Lucky Charm marshmallows. I think they're just I don't know, they don't do anything for me, but they look so cute in jumbo marshmallow size. I love it. And then with that orange, we're also going to be making the gold for the pot of gold. Now, if you have time and if you feel your marshmallow hasn't started setting yet, you'll know that the marshmallow is gonna stop cooperating when you're mixing it, and it doesn't mix as well. It's very stiff and it doesn't go where you want it to go. And when that happens, it's just time to eat the marshmallow. That's all we can do. If your marshmallow hasn't stiffened yet, you can add some red food coloring to this batch and use it to make the balloon. If it's already stiffened, don't worry, because we'll have some more time in the second batch of marshmallows. So now on to the second batch. So again, we've done everything from start to finish. I know it seems like a lot of work, but it actually didn't take too long for me to do. I shot everything in an afternoon. But we're gonna start off by dyeing the marshmallow pink and doing the little pink hearts. As well as the third arch in the rainbow. So it's the inside, the tiniest little arch. And then if you manage to make the red balloons from the last step, we are going to add some blue food coloring to the bowl of marshmallow to dye it purple. And if you haven't made the red balloons, just split the marshmallow mixture in half, add some blue to make half the mixture purple, and then add some red food coloring to make it more red. Then with the purple marshmallow, we are going to make the horseshoes. These are like the easiest ones to pipe, and they're so satisfying. Oh my goodness. And then for our last batch of marshmallows, you want to dye it a pale blue. So the blue food coloring that I'm using is very, very potent. So I think I only used 2 drops of blue food coloring. You want to be careful when you're working with blue because it can get dark super, super quickly. So with the blue, we are doing the final arc on the rainbow as well as the moons. And then pop the marshmallow back in the bowl and add like a couple drops of yellow food coloring to create this like pale green color. We're gonna use that to create the little, what are they, like leprechaun hats. So you wanna make the little hat shapes and then return the marshmallows, like the remaining marshmallow, to the bowl and add some more blue and some more yellow food coloring. This will create a deeper green color. And you can pipe directly on top of the hats the little 4-leaf clover. And this was so satisfying that I just started piping clovers like all over the rest of the parchment paper because I had more marshmallow left over. A side note, on Instagram I asked you guys which video you would like to see because I couldn't decide. It was between this one and matcha hot chocolate bombs filled with little shamrock marshmallows because I was like, that's perfect for St. Patrick's Day too, but also like, is it cold enough to have hot chocolate? I don't know. Either way, I might give you both. So keep that in mind, it's probably coming, especially because I know that you guys love matcha so much, so like I don't want to leave you hanging. After you've piped everything, you want to leave the marshmallows at room temperature, just like open, allow the air to like touch them, and you want to leave them until they are no longer sticky to the touch. You don't want that to be completely dry, but you want them to basically be set. Now, if your house is super, super dry, this will only take a couple hours. If it's not, it might take overnight. It really depends honestly on the season. The last condo I lived in, I had to wait overnight. This current condo, I only had to wait a couple hours, but because I'm shooting with natural daylight, I'm not gonna go on a rant right now. I will eventually, but not today. I had to wait for the next day to finish shooting, so they are much firmer than I would have liked, but I'm telling you how to make it the proper way. So yes, just like keep an eye on them and see how they're going. So then once they've set and they're all nice and they're like the right level of bounciness, we want to mix together some confectioner's sugar and some cornstarch in a bowl. Pop that into a mesh sieve and then dust it over the surface of the marshmallow. So this will remove any extra tackiness, like any extra stickiness to the marshmallows, and they won't stick to your fingers like crazy when you're handling them. You want to do the top surface and then flip them over. I like to use a butter knife to lift them off the surface because they do stick to the surface quite a lot. And then dust the underside in that same sugar powder as well. Then pop those into the mesh sieve and bounce them a couple times, and this will remove any excess powder. So comment down below, let me know what technique you think is better. Do you shove all of them in a mug and pour hot chocolate on top? Or do you just put one on top? I'm like, I want to make it look like Lucky Charms. So I did the first one, but let me know what you think. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you like this recipe. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, because I have another recipe coming this Thursday and you don't want to miss out. And if you would like a hint as to what it is, make sure to check the description box down below. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on Thursday. Bye.